'69, dudes!
Forgive me, Father, I've sinned. Never seen the 1981 Sean Connery sci-fi western Outland before. I've been watching Big John Bosch videos online.
Wait a minute, can you back up a little bit and say that again?
Been watching Big John Bosch videos online?
No, not that one. Back up a little more.
Never seen Outland before.
Do you realize what you said?
Time to make amends. Sci-fi western
Sign me up!
starring Sean Connery in 1981
Sign me up!
about a mining colony on Io, one of the moons of Jupiter, where Sean Connery comes in as a sheriff or marshal and has to face down a mayor of the town who's got his workers up on amphetamines, and Sean Connery has to bust them as a lone gunslinger. Sign me up. I'm not sure how I'd never heard of this movie before, but the minute I saw it was coming out on 4K Blu-ray in November, looked into the plot and felt like this had to be watched. Before we get into the film itself, I think it's important to look at where this sits. This was released in 1981. If we think about the 1970s, obviously the big heavy-hitting year of 1977, Star Wars, even Close Encounters. Science fiction is such popular genre at this time. 1979, Alien, Star Trek the Motion Picture came out, and Hollywood's really riding this. You can also look into culture and find it very interesting that this film Outland came out in May 1981. In April 1981, the launch of the first space shuttle. You can just imagine at the time any Hollywood executive frothing at the mouth for anything science fiction to come across their desk. This being a sci-fi western as well. I can't think of many examples of them, apart from cowboys and aliens. Hey, that was James Bond as well, wasn't it? This kind of film was probably a hot topic, a hot button at the time in Hollywood. And it's obviously attached Sean Connery. He's right towards the end of his James Bond tenure. In fact, he's done with James Bond and just has the Never Say Never Again unofficial, was it a Bond movie? It wasn't a Bond movie. On the subject of clamouring for anything based in space, James Bond had already been to space. Roger Moore in 1979, Moonraker. So I think it's important to take that into context where we're at, why this film was probably made. Another part of the subject matter on this film, he's gonna bust up a drug smuggling ring on the move, and we're at that point I think in the 70s where the Just Say No campaign had kind of started, the research was getting together, and then as we get into the 80s it's a big part of the public discourse. Nancy Reagan first took on board the idea of combating drugs in 1980, a year before this film came out. We're not quite in the realm of Hollywood stars talking out about drugs.
See this cute little vial here? It's crack, rock cocaine, the most addictive form. You think it's the glamour drug of the 80s? Well, that's the point of this friendly little reminder. It can kill you. And if you've got to die for something, this sure as hell ain't it.
It hurts to use him. It hurts his family. And it hurts his friends. I just want to shake some sense into you kids that are using drugs and thinking about using
Message of the time. So this film kind of ticks a lot of boxes for that Hollywood executive. This was not a small production. It was filmed in Pinewood Studios in the UK. It had a budget around $14 million, which is about $50 million in today's money. Try and put that into context. At the time, Star Wars had a budget 4 years prior. It's $11 million. Close Encounters, $20 million. Alien, only a couple of years before this one, $11 million. So it's got a lot of money behind it. And you can tell Hollywood executive, okay, I've got a sci-fi western, I've got Sean Connery, James Bond in there. So as mentioned, Sean Connery plays Marshal William O'Neill. He's assigned to a tour of duty on a titanium ore mining outpost on the moon of Io, one of Jupiter's moons. When he arrives there, one of the workers has killed himself. He's had as a result of drug abuse, an episode of psychosis where he thinks he's seeing spiders inside his spacesuit, so he rips his spacesuit open and has an explosive decompression. There's a few sequences of explosive decompression in this film. Mining colony is run by the general manager. Let's call him the mayor. We're going to go with the Western analogies. Played by Peter Boyle, the character Mark Sheppard, and he's always harping on about how the highest productivity and the company is happy with that and wants the result to continue. So the idea being, I think, that Sean Connery is just going to come in and just turn a blind eye and let things go by. But that's not Sean Connery. That's not the character's nature either. He's been moved on to the moon with his wife and young son. And right off the bat, the wife is having issues with being there, and doesn't want to be there.
7 pages of maths.
I promise.
You'll be good tonight.
And there's a lot of themes that are in this movie that are quite prevalent in that kind of 1970s, 80s era of not just sci-fi but films as well. The idea of capitalism, corporation. I think there's a big part of the company. You know, the company in this instance is willing to take profit over safety, profit over people's lives. You know, it's definitely filmed in that era where you know, space used to be sexy, for want of a better word. Space was the buzz thing. Space was seen as the next frontier, and we've lost that. You know, right now space travel, space exploration seems to be more of a dick measuring competition between two abhorrent billionaires. Watching a film set pre-CGI, these sets, these designs, these corridors, you know, this is a world it feels very much lived in. The vision that the director has of the future. You have these kind of video calls, which clearly is part of our lives nowadays, but at the time seems so distant. But they're trying to illustrate that with that kind of 1980s lo-fi VHS tech. Interestingly, watching the film, there is a scene where Sean Connery's having a conversation with his son.
Hi, Daddy.
Hi, Paul.
I miss you.
I miss you too. You'll just wake up. You'll be home.
I'm going to sleep through my birthday.
Don't be critical of child actors. Anyway, this scene did give me interstellar flashbacks. Honestly, the father on a video call with a child. And the director, Peter Hyams, gives us a very realistic look at how this life would exist if it was a reality. We have airlocks in different places, and all the characters interacting. You know, there's hundreds, if not thousands, people who live on this colony, and it's just a way of life. The airlock is used. They have these kind of oxygen tanks, so people in the suits can go up and refill them. It seems like it's been thought out. The film has a very distinct look to it. It's a late 1970s, early 1980s mixture of model work, map work. The kind of Jupiter in the distance looks very impressive, but you're obviously looking at models or miniatures of these sets. But then once you're actually inside the buildings, these great corridors, and you know, it's all very physical. And for all its shortcomings in terms of some of the action sequences, you can see the time and effort and craft that's gone into doing this. It's a lost art now that we can just CGI it all. And sometimes it's nice to kind of watch these remasters and see these films and see the attention to detail that's gone into it. It's all in camera. It's got to be in camera. There's no magic CGI brushstroke.
Or I might just kick your nasty ass all over this room.
Yeah, overall, had a good time with this. It sits at 6.6 on IMDb, which is fair. I think maybe you could push it up a little bit, but this is by no means a masterpiece. It's definitely a product of its time, but it has a lot going for it. We don't see sci-fi films made with this ideology anymore. You know, this is, again, a root of its times, and science fiction should have no bounds. We should be able to think science, exploration, space is more than just Musk and Bezos.